Happy Thursday, YouTube. Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. Today I have an updated bookshelf tour, starting out with this new little shelf I have over here. Got my TBR pile up there on the top. I have 4 books left in it. I started Down the Long Hills last night. I got I would say almost a third of the way through. Really good so far. Really enjoying that by Louis L'Amour. Then I've got some of my Sackett books, some of my standalone Louis L'Amours I'm starting to collect. Then I had talked about this in my, I'm sorry for the shaky camera, talked about this in my goals. I got a bunch of standalones here that I want to read. The first three books in the Lincoln Rhyme series over there on the right. Kevin is making sure no one gets his chili and no one steals my David Baldassi books that I got free from the local library. And then down here we've got the Millennium series, the first 3 books, and the first 4 books in the Agent Pendergast series down here. So, and we swoop over here. Excuse the noise. We got my Joe Nesbo Harry Hole detective series. Hyde and Reed always laughs about that. My Brad Thor books. Ken Follett over there on the left. Dwight picture, my youngest, painted for me. Dwight from The Office, Dwight Schrute. And we got my Stephen King collection. A lot of these I got used bookstores, thrift books. If I find first editions and hardbacks used and cheap, I'll get them, but some of these books I have in paperback because the real old ones are hard to find and they're expensive. More Stephen King. Stanley over there, Halloween Stanley. And then up here we've got more Stephen King and my Pride and Joy, the Dark Tower series. Not only my favorite series, but Dustin Neely's favorite series as well, ever. The 19 is a Dark Tower reference if you don't know. Up here we've got Kevin, Olympic Games Kevin with Dan Brown collection, Joe Hill collection. Joe Hill will be the Why You Should Read author this week, just a little spoiler. And then you have the 2 Donna Tartt books. My mother read both of these books. Little fun fact, my mother is an avid reader. My dad is not. So my mother has been reading books. We've been sharing books for several years now. Well, she'll read some Stephen King. She'll read different books I suggest. She's read some Lawrence Block, some Stephen King, the Donna Tartt books. She's read Lee Child. She's read some Blake Crouch, so John Grisham, so my mom's a pretty avid reader. And so she's actually on book 3 of Harry Potter. And so it's kind of a family thing now. The funny thing is my dad does not read, hasn't read in decades. And then lo and behold, through watching some of these videos, he decided to try out, a small book. And so I gave him The Quick and the Dead. He liked it. I gave him High Lonesome. He liked it. So I gave him Blockade Billy, my little hardback of that novella. He is actually done with that. So he has read 3 books in the last month, and he hasn't read in decades. So little fun fact. Lee Child collection down here. I've read all these except for the last 3 they wrote with Andrew Child, which is The Sentinel, Better Off Dead, and No Plan B, I believe, are those 3 books that are right there. Michael Crichton, Blake Crouch. I love these books. There's probably about 5 or 8 books from Michael Crichton I haven't read yet. I've read all the Blake Crouch except for Abandon there. Up here we have my Cotton Malone's books, Steve Barry on the right, and then some John Grisham that I've read and always want to reread. These are some of my favorites. Up here we have Goldface Jim, guarding watch over Jeffrey Archer books, and my John Sanford books. A bunch of mass market paperbacks, and I have a bunch of hardbacks that I got used. I have a bunch of Virgil Flower books here. And then I've got my South Park mug I got from my son. I save these bookmarks. These are actually Monocle's free pizzas that Tessa gets that we never end up using, so they're expired. I use them as bookmarks. Don't dog-ear your pages. Use bookmarks. Up here, Prison Mike, making sure everything is copacetic in this room. We got the Ken Liu books. I'm getting to this. I'm going to start Grace the Kings next month. You've heard it here first. The first 3 books in the Cork O'Connor series, I need to read book 2. I really enjoyed book 1. As I mentioned, I'm on book 5, almost done. My mom's on book 3 of Harry Potter. Then you have his Dark Materials trilogy. Definitely want to read that next year. Then down here, let me move my chair over. Down here, sorry, don't throw up. Down here we have some standalone books. I've read all of these books down here except the ones in the front and Starship Troopers in the back. I need to read it. I started it, put it down, got tied up with something else several months ago. Up here we have fantasy. We have on the right the Night Angel trilogy. You got some Raymond Feist, R.A. Salvatore, some standalone fantasies. And then you have some Andy Weir over here. The God of Endings I just read. Very unique book. Similar to How You Lose the Time War. 2 unique books kind of in almost a week. That was weird, but I enjoyed them. More fantasy, all the Joe Abercrombies. I'm going to read the Shattered Sea trilogy soon. I've read all of these books. Up here, Neil Gaiman books. I've read a majority of those. I need to read Fragile Things in Norse Mythology. I think they're on the bottom there. And Anisi Boys. Brandon Sanderson in the middle. I've read Elantris. I need to read Mistborn and Warbreaker. Continue with Brandon Sanderson. I have Silmarillion, Conan, The Hobbit, and Lord of the Rings. I mean, these are cheap Amazon copies. I need to get some better copies, but I'm not a book snob when it comes to that. And then the 5 books in the Song of Ice and Fire. I got to book 3 the last time I tried reading through these. I was enjoying them. I just wasn't in the right headspace, and I just stopped, and I never picked it back up. Got sidetracked. Up here we have my 3 Elmer Leonard books I got recently. And then all my Lawrence Block books. Hitman series, Matthew Scudder series, Evan Tanner series here. And then you have all of these Bernie Rodenbar books, the burglar books. There's a standalone book up there. And then up here you have Hard Case Crime. Various authors. I really like Hard Case Crime. If you like older style, concise, tight, very fast-paced, to-the-point writing, these are the books for you. Some of them, The Girl with the Deep Blue Eyes, that's always going to stick with me. Man, that is something. You should check out the review on that if you want to laugh, but really like Hard Case Crime. But that is it. Those are the updated books, shelves. You see these behind me a lot in my videos. I am going to branch out and do some videos outside the office more. But those are the books. Another little fun fact and nugget for today. I am off today, so I'm probably going to go to a used bookstore and look around. So, you never know. Hope you're having a great day. I always like looking at other people's bookshelves. Hopefully I didn't go too fast, but anyways, those are my books. Obviously, I have a ton of books on Audible, so that library, I think, is over 350 now, too. But some of these books I have on the shelf. I have in both Audible and physical form. Some I have in just Audible and don't have physical books. But nevertheless, those are the shelves. Hope you're having a great day. I will talk to you guys later.